Hello, Noise Fellows. I hope you're enjoying your week off if you are currently student teaching. My name is Mike Doria, former Noise Fellowship graduate from Hofstra University, and I'm volunteering to serve as an instructional mentor and coach to help you grow as educators. In this Noise Fellowship video, I want to prompt you to begin considering how you can implement instructional technology in the classroom. We hear a lot about differentiation and making learning more accessible so students in our schools can become more engaged and successful. However, no one thought we'd ever be navigating these challenges due to a pandemic. So, with students choosing to learn either remote or in person, you have to make your content more accessible to whatever option that they choose to want to learn. We don't know when students will fully be back into the building, but right now, students have the option to either decide if they want to stay home or learn with you in the building. So, in my current classroom, I have a total of 6 students. 4 have opted to stay remote, and 2 have opted to come into the building. Again, I work in a special education agency, so I have a lot less kids in my classroom, but your first teaching job, you might be in a school or you might have a class with 25 to close to 30 kids. So that could be very challenging. So you have to say to yourself, if my students aren't physically with me, how can I interact with them and engage with them? So for me, the past few since last year, I've completely revamped how I look at differentiation and making my content accessible. And I'm using learning technology every day, constantly teaching myself and using what my school district has provided to me. So you have to think too. Our kids that we're serving, they they're in a digital age. So when you take your content and you adapt it into some sort of digital format, or you through some kind of digital application, they usually know how to interact with that app. So again, you have to be creative and say, okay, how can I make what I'm teaching accessible, and what applications do I have available to me, or that I even just know myself to provide to my students so that they could learn. So some popular applications that are out there that if you're following Twitter, or you may heard of these from your own school, Nearpod, Pear Deck, Flipgrid, Vocabulary. Most school districts have some sort of Google account or Microsoft, so you'd be surprised that a lot of these applications like Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams, you may already have access to in your schools. Adobe Creative Cloud is another interesting one if anybody wants to take the learning applications to another level. A little bit of a learning curve with Adobe, but again, if you could figure out how to apply Adobe to your classroom, you could do a lot of cool stuff, and a lot of the kids know about Adobe. Uh, if it's allowed, check with your admin team. A lot of our kids, they're on YouTube. They have their own YouTube channels. If you're allowed to create your own YouTube channel or your own Twitter or some sort of blog where you could interact with the kids and keep it appropriate and make them interact with you through those other mediums, that's great too. But again, you have to check with your leadership team if that would be allowed. But a lot of our kids, they act like content creators. They're inspired by a lot of these people on Instagram and Facebook. So we need to try to become more animated and utilize those tools to keep them engaged. So I'd be more than happy to help guide you with implementing learning applications in your classroom. If you just want to reach out to me and have a conversation, my contact info will be at the end of the video and in the email. And again, I look forward to serving the current Noise Fellows and giving back to this great organization that helped me grow so much as an educator. All right, have a good day, everyone.